Welcome back, guys, to Replay Thursday, episode 14. Brain fart here, over here. I had a long day, I guess. We have game 4, submitted by Akeem24 on Reddit. League Diamond. The strategy is fast expand, double forge, and a robo. Yeah, I can already see where it goes wrong. Mistake. He was able to contain me at my natural with Widow Mines and Bioforce, and then drop me with his entire army when I moved out to secure my third. How can I better refine my build order, and what should I have done? He was in front of my base. Or once he was in front of my base. I've been struggling lately and would love to get some feedback. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, when you go double forge, you're really limited in terms of opportunities because you're spending all your gas and like a decent amount of minerals into that. So I'm not a big fan of double forge, but we'll see how you do. Okay, so 3 chrono and Nexus. Let's see if you make a 4th chrono and Nexus. Well, sorry, 3rd chrono, always. So yeah, your 3rd chrono on Nexus is extremely late. Then your 4th chrono on Nexus is extremely late. And then, yeah, buddy. And I cancel the Zealot if they don't have an SCV building an engineering bay at my natural. Because, like, right now, like, it's, like, I mean, it's normal to go for the Stalker and the Zealot. It's, like, what people usually do. But you could have your expand at 21 food instead of 27. So, that's a big concern. And, like, I don't know, like, why you, like, were running from a Marine. Just, like, be a man with your probe. Be like, I'm not afraid of a Marine. I'm a strong, independent probe who can build Nexuses without being afraid. And, if you would make a... Well, you made the Mothership Core first. But you should have scouted a lot earlier with it. And when you see a factory, what I like to do is well, this guy's being a greedy motherfucker. You see, he has a 3rd command center, and it's kind of, don't fight Marines. Well, I guess it kind of turned out okay, but yeah, I guess like this guy is like sending you mixed signals a little bit. But okay, so like the robo was late. Okay, so you make like way too many units, man. Like the Mothership Core. The Mothership Core is like so powerful, like you don't need it. Well, I mean, it's nice to have a Sentry, it's nice to have like 2 Stalkers, but the Mothership Core, an early cannon in your middle line if you're scared of Widow Mine drop, and then everything else at the natural with an Observer, Chrono the Observer to know what he's doing. So like already like you're a little bit behind because this guy is like three mules, so like a mule is like 4 workers. So this guy's got 12 workers versus your 35. And like, because you're not scouting with a... Well, you're scouting very late with your observer, like it's gonna be really, really hard. And also, once you have 16, transfer the rally point. And chrono probes non-stop until you have 16 at the natural. So like... Yeah. You don't chrono probes enough. You don't transfer the rally point properly. Your economy should be at 1400 right now because you're, well, you'll see. Like it should get close to 1400 because, or 1300 because you, well, no, 1400 because you have, yeah, man. And it's like random cannons because of what? Like this guy, you need to recognize if it's a late starport or whatever. Like this guy's a 3rd CC, you're not looking for it. Like, how many racks? Is there a 3rd CC? Yes or no? And then like versus this, like you're making sentries, like 2 sentries max versus Terran. Sentries are not fighting units, sentries are support units. And right now, yeah. Yeah, and usually I have a Colossus by 11 minute. Like I would just recommend you to watch my guide on PVT. So you're gonna learn so much because you're like PVT right now in terms of scouting, in terms of like cannons, and one thing that you do well is that you have 3 observers. So I commend you for that. But yeah, I'm just a little bit sad for you. Photon overcharge and force field him. Yeah, you're like too afraid. And if you're gonna stay on 2 base, you need 6 or 7 gates. Right now you have 4 gates. And if you would have seen the 3rd, you should have had a 3rd by now. And like I said, I would have a Colossus at 12 minute. But yeah, and like you could have photon overcharge, like yeah, yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, you're in diamond, so like of course you have like certain hurdles that are holding you back. But like what he's doing is like foolish. Like I would poop on this, so I'm sad for you. But it's by losing that we learn. And you know, like the Twilight very very late. I make a 7:10 Twilight. You make like a 13-minute Twilight, so it limits your options. You don't have blink, you don't have charge, and I mean your hotkeys. Your hotkeys are very fancy, like the sentries on 2 and every like in the stalkers on 1. That must be like so hard to micro. I'd recommend trying to put everything on 1, and just not hotkeying the mothership core. That way you don't have problems force fielding. You know. Let's see how you control your army. Yeah, buddy. The micro part with your hotkeys, it's like you're like very few Koreans will put the sentries on 2. Like they might put the sentries on 2, but they will still be on control 1, just so they can like move the sentries forward more easily without like double clicking and control clicking. So like your micro is messed up. The build order wise, I mean, like the Twilight's very late, you make your Zots useless. That guy at a 3rd CC, you were supposed to grab a 3rd Nexus. Yeah, I'm just, yeah. It's the build order that's killing you, you just need a better build. Like, yeah, you got better upgrades, but actually no, he caught up with you. Yeah, I mean this replay goes on for another for another 5 minutes, but it's like over. So the Colossus were doing nice damage on the Marines, so that was nice. Stalkers are not good fighting units. So you gotta be careful, like usually when you only have stalkers left, it turned out nicely. You don't want to grab this 3rd, you want to grab this 3rd, because like attacking here is like shorter than attacking there, or is it? I don't know, but here is better. It's easier to defend because like the drops in your main, they don't really happen. They'll mostly be drops at the natural. So you have a few Templars. You stop the Colossus production. You stop the forge upgrades. This gas needs to be like filled up right away, and like yeah, when you lose the mothership core, you want to rebuild it. It's such a good defensive unit, and yeah, I mean at this point it was kind of, yeah. I would honestly I have a guide on my YouTube about hotkeys, and like I would consider you start hotkeying better, because like life seems so difficult for you to micro your army. Yeah, so better build, better hotkeys, and life will be a little bit easier, I promise. Because that's the thing, right? Like versus Terran, like yeah, the build matters, but it's mostly about micro and unit control versus Terran. And if like your hotkeys you struggle with that, then like of course like every build is gonna be hard to pull off, and you're gonna like be jumping ships, trying to find the right ship for you to live a happy life. But really, 2 guides on YouTube, hotkeys, and my PVT, and I explain a lot of good stuff. Because it's like the tools you have, like if they die to like this push, that's like shouldn't do anything because he's got a 3rd, so he doesn't have that much with this push. If like your build dies to this, it's gonna die to like your build would be good versus a passive Terran that drops. Like you had like nice defense, you had some cannons, you had some stalkers, you had 3 observers, you had nice defense, I give you that. But like you need to scout the third CC, and not having blink, not having charge, makes defending a lot harder. So I hope I was helpful. I know like I didn't like give you like you know rocket science tips, and then you're gonna improve like a second later. I'm just telling you like just watch some of my guides, which I guess is kind of a boring answer. Um, but your hotkeys needs work, your micro, and your build order. So I hope I was helpful. I'm doubting myself. I guess I'm not a very good seller. But thank you, Akim24, for submitting this replay. Hopefully you learn. Hopefully other people learn. And after the break, we'll be back with Game 5 in just a bit. Stay tuned.